What's happening now across the Niagara frontier? News stories, old stories, stuff you know about and stuff you'd never believe. It's the Niagara Hub Soapbox with Craig Avery.
So Seth Piccirillo, welcome today.
Thanks for
Here,
having
we're
me.
glad you're here. We haven't seen anybody in a while. It's
I know.
been cold and yucky, but you look at the calendar, it's January. What do you expect? No, it isn't. It's February. Well, maybe you'd expect a little warmer in February.
It's a long winter.
Whatever, but it's fun here. What's happening? Seth Piccirillo, Community Development Director. What's happening?
Well, even though the winter is, keeping people in the houses, there's a lot of construction going on right now, which is a positive. People can actually see some things going on, especially in the downtown area. If you're driving into downtown, you see them taking Robert Moses Parkway north out, and you can actually start to see some of that water and the waterfront, so that's great. You have, 3 or 4 hotel renovations or construction projects happening. You've got some really exciting private sector-led investment in 3rd Street with new apartments and storefronts being renovated. And as you go down and you even look at the Housing Visions project is about 25% complete on Walnut between 5th and 7th. So it's good to see that we're gonna, when this weather finally breaks, you're gonna have construction sites that aren't just starting, that they're already underway.
The project on Walnut. Can you describe that a little more?
Sure.
It's
Is
kinda
there a
neat.
tour
Boy,
today?
It's going fast.
At 11:30, we're going to go in the old school district admin building at 607, which was vacant for a while. It's going to be apartments. They just took all the asbestos out, so we're going to walk through there for the first time. Altogether, between that building and a few others, it's 41 apartments, and they are taking all properties and land that were vacant for about 10 years off the tax rolls. And they're going to create apartments that are going to be tax producing, 24 hours a day management in partnership with Carolyn's House. Housing Visions is the developer who has a very long 25-year track record with these types of developments. You're actually going to see some life and development on those streets that have been just really barren for the last 10 years.
Yeah. I hope
So-
they just put some lights up outside the building. It'll be a great improvement.
Yeah, it's going to be well lit. It's going to be that large apartment building. Then you're also going to see some units that just look like houses. It's called infill, so it's not just a complex. It just basically looks like it's supposed to be part of the neighborhood.
Great.
So we're excited about that.
I don't know if you were down to Buffalo Avenue the other day. It's really exciting to see that the stuff clearing out there, and the fact that whole end of things is going to be nice with the new hotels. There will be pedestrian access to the river, basically.
Right.
Is the big thing. So that's going to be a really nice
It's
place to walk around.
It's a different place, and if you even I took a walk from where that construction site is, just to some of the other hotel projects that are going on, and you see the cranes there, you see the work being done. We're not just talking about it anymore. And that's what people get very frustrated around here, is that they see these plans and everything sounds great, but let's actually see some construction equipment.
Right.
So you have that going on with Robert Moses, and then in a couple of weeks they're going to have a public information session about the next portion of taking Robert Moses out. The idea being is, all right, we got this part rolling, let's get that Finley Drive section done next, because that will change that neighborhood too.
That announcement's on the hub. That's
Yep.
up.
That's how I know about
18th, I
it.
think.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. Taking that parkway out, which should have never been put in the first place, and it's been holding certain parts of the waterfront back for a long time. It's getting ripped out.
Yeah.
So that's I would say that's the most encouraging thing going on right now. And then really things that I'm excited about are seeing what the local developers are doing in that 3rd Street area with the market rate apartments.
Right.
It's something that we know we need, and they're coming online.
Yeah.
So there's going to be there's going to be a new art gallery space. There's some new restaurants that are going to be opening on 3rd. All that's good.
You know when the art gallery's opening?
They were doing work in there this week. They're hoping in the next 6 weeks to be open. So definitely before the tourism season starts.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're anticipating a big crowd of the J1 students that we had last year. We had probably 16 countries total. They'll be coming in March, so there'll be activity. We're also we're looking at setting up just some other activities for them. You know, we got this captive group of people that travel on the bus every day somewhere, so we may come up with some packages within the community, and then looking to take them to Buffalo and Lockport also. But so if any businesses are looking to promote a little bit, you know, we can bring a bus load of foreigners to them, and there you go.
I think it's gonna be a fun mix.
Instead of Walmart, taking them to Walmart.
I think there's gonna be a lot of energy down there. I really do. It's gonna be obviously the tourism, you know, activity that's there every year, but I think there's gonna be a local feel to it.
Cool.
And that's what everybody wants.
How about, are you getting any calls from outside the area type developers or stores or restaurants, you know, people that...
We're doing what we're seeing is some Buffalo developers are now reaching out to us for apartments. We're still, you know, in the process of reaching out to restaurants and shops, right?
Okay.
We're starting to see, because people are seeing the completed market rate apartments get rented, you have more people that are doing work in like Elmwood Village and the west side of Buffalo, those hot spots, are now looking at Niagara Falls. We still need to, you know, cold call businesses to make sure that they know what the opportunities are. And I think once they start to see these buildings completed, we're hoping that's going to gain some interest. So that's still something we need to do more of.
And specifically, you know, it goes back and forth, but who is doing what in amongst the city? You've got the economic development and community development, two different things, or what? Where are we right now?
You know, I mean, names of departments and all that. What we focus on are doing some cold calls, like we did a week and a half ago. There's a couple of spaces obviously that are vacant downtown where we sent out, you know, 15 letters and did follow-up calls to regional restaurants. We think it makes sense to go after Buffalo regional restaurants more so than the chains, because the chains do their own market analysis. If they're interested in an area, you're going to see them out there surveying and doing things like that. So that's something that we're doing right now. We're seeing people for the market rate apartments come to us, which, you know, hey, more apartments, more people living downtown, that attracts restaurants and businesses too.
Sure. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
What about the fire hall? Any update on that?
The asbestos is abated. That came in on budget. The roof will be bid out in late March for work to start in April, May, once the snow clears. Once the roof work starts, that's actually a pretty quick renovation with the abatement done. So that will be done in 2015. So that's something we're excited about. Another thing that we're working on for May is we're going to have a larger home ownership auction for 25 houses, some houses that we pulled off the in-run list. We're not big fans of the in-run list and in-run auction because we know how that often works. It's a way for, frankly, slumlords to be able to buy properties and eventually not pay taxes anymore, and they end up back in the in-rem list.
So what does in-rem mean? Like, how is that process?
That's tax foreclosure. So usually once a year, once every 2 years, the city has a very large auction, and you can go in and buy a house sight unseen, and there aren't any stipulations that are really enforced, like you need to renovate it within a certain amount of time.
There aren't, or there is?
There are not. So what ours is that it's first for homeowners, that you can basically buy this house for very little. The stipulations are you need to live in it for a certain amount of years, and you have to renovate it within a certain amount of time. But as part of making that easier, the information that we're going to give to them is, all right, here's insurance companies that we know insure vacant buildings. Here's
Here's a checklist of what you gotta...
Yeah, here's some banks that we know do financing, and here's some renovation grants that are available to you and deferred loans. So
make it easier for the purchaser.
Right. We had a small homeowner auction about a year and a half ago. We learned from that. Now we're expanding it out.
Great.
So we're excited about that. That's, I think, from a home renovation standpoint, that'll be the most important thing we do this year.
Great. How is your facade program? You've got businesses that are eligible for improving, just everything from paint to the windows to whatever. Could you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely.
Who's eligible?
Really, right now there's a few different facade program projects going on 3rd Street. We're doing one on Buffalo Avenue. Basically, if you contact us, and you can give me a call, 286-8801. It's a matching grant up to $10,000 for your facade, which could be your front windows, signage, your door, anything that's on the facade of the building. So basically, we reimburse you at the end of the project. We match it dollar for dollar up to $10,000. and it's a way for us to help improve the storefront. You know, every grant that we do or anything that we do is all reimbursable and matching dollar for dollar. There's really no giveaways. And frankly, when a developer is renovating a building, especially when it's vacant, they're putting a lot more money than dollar for dollar matched to us. They are very expensive renovations, and there's proof that they're expensive renovations because vacant buildings have sat so long. So the fact that you have local developers that are willing to take a risk and put a lot of time and effort in these buildings, a $10,000 matching grant is a small incentive to help you get that going.
Right. The other night we were walking up on 3rd Street, and Jack from the tap room was on his ladder at about 9 o'clock at night changing light bulbs.
Yep.
So the things are happening down there. Those buildings in the area have new lights. Never seen those things lit up before, so it's kind of cool. He's getting a new sign put up.
And what you're going to see is there's 2, maybe 3 businesses now that are going to do the garage doors. So it's indoor-outdoor space. So during the summer, when we finally get summer, there can be seating where it's just you open up the garage door and you're able to be inside and outside the building.
Well, I thought it was for extra parking out there.
Yeah, right. Just throw a car right in
Get
there.
your muffler changed.
Yeah,
or
right.
the oil
So it's going to be sharp. It really is. So again, that's to actually see that all happening right now is really encouraging.
Good.
I think it's going to be a productive summer.
How did that NFC vote affect anything?
Really, that wasn't really community development. What we do is we use mostly just the CD funds, and anytime that we request NFC dollars from the city, we go specifically into the city with that request, with a community development request. So that wasn't us. We don't really anticipate needing to go back to NFC. The only NFC money that we're really using is for that market rate apartment matching grant, and we're pretty stocked right now. So what's nice is we're kind of in the construction, getting things done phase. We don't really have to ask for anything more right now, which is where you want to be right before the construction season. So that's all completed already, and we're past that. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
All right,
So,
cool.
But yeah, I think it's going to be like I said, productive summer, and people are going to actually see some changes.
Good. Well, thanks, man. You've
Thank
done
you.
a great job. Keep it going, and
Appreciate it.
it's always it's an unending cavalcade of opportunities here. It just keeps going.
That's
So,
right. Looking forward to it.
It's quite a bunch of words.
Yeah,
It was very- it was
unending
good.
cavalcade of opportunity.
Yeah, we could make that the tagline. Welcome to Niagara Falls.
It's catchy.
An unending cavalcade, a cornucopia of sorts of
There you
off
go.
the page.
All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.